Greetings, it's your Chief Visionary, Natasha Davis, right here on Extreme Exposure at VPTV. We are so excited because we have the opportunity to share this moment with the founder and executive director of one of the most phenomenal organizations right here in Atlanta, the Veterans Empowerment Organization. And I want to tell you that we're so excited that we're here today because you guys know that the upcoming TV show, A Day in the Life of Business, is coming, and we're all going to be able to support the organizations through our donations. So I'm really honored that Mr. Franz Fortune took some time out of his day to come and share with us. Franz, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Ms. Davis.
Yes.
And thank you for coming to our home.
Yes, thank you.
And we are so honored. And on a Saturday, you take time out Saturday.
You know, we come and hang out.
Here. Yes.
We could have been barbecuing.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And the client that we serve here will enjoy that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you see, he put me on blast to do the barbecuing.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
very good.
Yes.
Well, you know, one of the things that we enjoy doing here at VPTV is we get the opportunity to come to organizations that most people may not know much about. But you guys are doing phenomenal things, really impacting the community on great levels, and we don't know much about it. So tell our viewers a little bit about what the Veterans Empowerment Organization is and what you do.
Well, my name is Franz Fortune, and I'm the Executive Director for Veteran Empowerment Organization of Georgia. And Veteran Empowerment Organization, basically, as you say, veteran. We assisting the veteran in the bottom, those where I would say nobody wants to be dealing with, because sometimes they find themselves with issue and find themselves homeless, lose their ID, lose their identity, and they're on the street and they can't even access anything. So we will go on the street or wherever they are and pick them up and start with anything, ID, housing. So that's what we call ourselves, housing first.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. That's our primary cause, because if somebody don't have a roof on top of your head and some food to eat, I don't care if you have a job, you won't be able to focus.
Right.
And that's our primary thing that we do.
Wow, I mean, that is phenomenal. And so, as an immigrant from Haiti, right?
Yes.
In 1989, you came to
Yes.
the great United States
Yes.
of America.
Yes.
And to your surprise, as
Yes.
you were growing and you were grooming and you were going along,
Yes.
you realized that some of the same issues that were being suffered in Haiti are right here in the U.S.
Yes.
Now, I'm Jamaican.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, I'm Jamaican. So,
Oh.
sometimes those things like,
Yes.
how come this is happening
Yes.
here?
Yes.
So what exactly was it that gave you the drive to say, I'm going to start an organization that's not government funded?
Right.
You know, you don't get the great little kickbacks from the
Absolutely,
government.
yes.
But what made you say, I'm going to take this, I'm going to carry this weight and put this on my shoulders, and I'm going to serve a community that has done great things for the United States and even for us in other countries, and say, I'm going to give them this platform? What exactly, where'd that come from?
Now that when you see and you talk about United States, for me, I believe it's one of the greatest countries in the world.
Yes. Yes.
And that's where all of us, most of us come to follow whatever dream we have.
Freedom.
Freedom, absolutely. And myself came here in 1989 and go to school, and this country have given me so many opportunities.
Yes.
And I think that's where it comes. And I remember back in 03 or 04, I invested in housing.
Right.
And that's when the housing market was booming.
Yes. This one's really exciting.
Yes. And I used to get up in the morning, watching the news. Before I go anything, I need to know what's going on.
Right.
And as I watching the news, and I found out a soldier was dying.
Wow.
There was a war, Iraq and Afghanistan. After I watched the news, I just go about my business, make my money, making money. That's all of us do.
That's as we all do. You know,
Yes.
just keep going on with life.
And then the market slowed down after a couple of years, and it gave me time to reflect. And one day I heard on the news there were 300,000 homeless veterans in the country. And I say, okay, for every problem there's a solution. So
Exactly.
therefore I went and found out, okay, I know that if somebody goes inside the country, you're good. That's what I thought.
That's what you thought.
And I believe that's what everybody's thinking too. And as I went to find out, okay, what was the cause? And I found out with a veteran will come back and they suffer PTSD,
Yes.
trauma,
Yes.
and they will find themselves homeless.
Right.
And then yes, they will go try to start a process
Mhm.
to get their benefit or to get a job. And sometimes if they don't have the proper document, they don't have IDs. A lot of times they get robbed on the street.
Right.
And if they don't have the proper document, it's going to be a difficult process.
Mhm.
And myself say, how do we allow that to happen?
Right.
One of the greatest countries in the world. And I said, maybe one of those guys who were protecting me while I was going in and make my
Right.
business, maybe he's one of them on the street right now.
That you can help.
How can that happen?
Right.
A guy who was protecting me 24 hours,
Yeah.
and 2-3 years later he's on the street. And
I find, friends, one of the things I find that, as we said, okay, someone says, okay, at the prime age of 18, 19, 20, whatever, I'm gonna serve my country.
yes,
I'm gonna give to my country, and they give so much of themselves, mentally, emotionally, physically. Some of them leave their homes, their children, and then when they come back home, how could this be? And I know for me, that's what I feel. I can only imagine
oh yeah,
how you feel, because you're passionate. You founded this organization in 2008,
yes.
and you've seen it grow and blossom. Did you think it was going to be this?
No, not at all. I'm a strong believer on see a problem
Yes.
and try to solve it.
Nice.
And I never worry about anything. I worry about the task. What needs to be done.
Right.
And I don't like talking, I like action.
All right now.
And that's what I did. And
Okay.
never think in a million years that today VEO will be serving so many veterans. At that time it was eight guys
Mhm.
that I kept saying I was going to try to find you guys help. Then
Right.
you guys are veterans, y'all serve your country, there must be some help somewhere.
Mhm.
And it seemed like the help was impossible.
I can imagine.
I called some agency,
Mhm.
and most of the agency you have to have a process. And in my mind I said, well, if they're on the street, how would they make that process?
Make the process
You don't,
happen.
once you're homeless, what you do is looking for food.
Yeah.
You're not worried about much anything else.
Yeah.
Even though somebody will give you an appointment, you don't have no transportation.
Right. How are you gonna get
How
there?
would you get there? And I said, how we going to solve that problem?
Right. The problem solver.
Yes. And I was asking for help anywhere.
Yeah.
And I kept telling those guys, I'm going to find something.
Mhm.
It was 2-3 months later, I still couldn't find anywhere to put them. Some program would say, if they do jobs, if there's a bed available somewhere, they'll be putting in those beds. And some of them say, no, all I need is a job.
Right.
I'm not going to degrade myself.
They want to work. They want
Yeah,
to continue to
that's
give.
all I want.
Right.
I'm not going to degrade myself. I serve my country.
Right.
And to lie to say I do job, to be sitting in job treatment just because I need a place to stay.
Wow.
And it just, you imagine if that guy be able to come out of the situation, we all can be there.
That is powerful.
Homelessness is not driven to anybody.
Right, no, right, exactly,
Yes.
exactly. We were talking about that earlier coming, and we were just saying how thankful we are to be able to just have the clean
Yes.
running water and a clean
Yes.
house and so forth. We're talking with Franz Fortune, who's the founder and executive director of the Veterans Empowerment Organization. You can also find a lot of information on veteransempowerment.org. That's veteransempowerment.org. And I'm gonna go a step further, because this man said that he is a doer, not a talker. So we're gonna actually go and see the grounds. I want you to see the grounds. It's really phenomenal. And
Yes.
I can only imagine when you pull in, you're like, wow, this is what happened. This came from a man that saw a problem and wanted to help.
And I'm not going to take all the credit.
I
There's
know.
no way I could do it by myself.
You got a nice team. You got like a team of 16
Oh my
plus.
God, absolutely. And I give them all the credit
Yes.
because there's no way I could do it by myself. And every day, when I wake up, I put my knees down
Yes.
and I say, I give it up to you, God.
Yes.
And once I do that, I'm okay.
That's it.
And he's been doing tremendously.
He's done a great
Oh
job.
my God, it's just unbelievable. And just like you mentioned earlier, and for government funding,
Mhm.
there's a lot of grant I was not able to get because if I do have them,
Yeah.
I'll be limited to serve those guys.
And you didn't want any limitations.
No, I didn't want to leave. All I need that I can call the VA if their name is on the system, I don't care what they have.
Yeah.
As long as their name in the system, and as we know, we can call a VA and DC
Right.
and give the client name, their social security, the name will appear.
It's gonna
If they
appear.
serve, we will see it.
Awesome.
So that's all I need.
Okay.
And that's where it starts,
Very good.
to try to help those guys.
Very good.
And for the past 6 years, we serve over 2,000 men. And
Speaks volumes. Starting with 8.
yes, starting with 8,
Right.
but nowadays we know we serve over, giving services to over 2,000. But back in December when we did our stats, we graduated. When we say graduate, that guy who were homeless on the street, now they're in their own apartment. That's
Nice.
what we call graduation. 537.
Well, I'm going to give you a high five on that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
All right, for you and the team. That's
Yes,
two for you,
yes,
two and the team.
Exactly. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that I was driving on the street. That I never forget that. And as I was driving, I was under the light, and there's a car that stopped next to me. It was a red light, and I looked, and because it blew the horn, and I looked and said, "Hey, Mr. Fortune," and I'm trying to remember. He said, "You remember me?" I said, "Who are you?" He said, "You remember that 6 months ago I went on your program?"
Wow.
And
And now he's driving.
it's like,
and
wow. He said, "I got a great job. I'm back on my feet." His car was a nice car. It was nicer than mine. And that's what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, to take somebody with nothing. When we say somebody, remember somebody who served their country.
Yes.
I
Every
see-
last one of us. So
Yes.
we have the freedom. We can
Yes.
sit here today. We can drive around the streets
Oh
safely.
my God.
Go to the supermarket freely.
How many times we've been at war? You heard we've been at war. Have you ever seen a bomb
No.
drop in
And
your
we're at
backyard?
work, going to the supermarket.
Never
listening to our
stopped one
friends.
day.
Yeah.
We stop for disasters, a natural disaster. We never stop whenever there's a war. I truly believe this is not a government issue, because those guys didn't only serve the government; they serve everybody.
Right. It's
And
our
what I
issue.
say, I've been talking to the VA, because as government, they are limited to certain things. They are government. We know government is a process,
Right.
but why don't we come and bridge the gap because if you go to the VA or any other government, they're going to require ID. They're going to require certain things. So if those guys cannot have those things to start their journey, why don't we step up? Why do we look at to say 300,000, 200? It's just those guys serve us.
Right.
So I think it's our duty to serve them back. And me, from a third world country, this country have done so much for me.
Right.
And when I was doing them, I was having 24-hour security.
Exactly.
As we speak right now, I think anybody that tried to fly to hurt us, they're going to be stopped.
Right.
So
Because we have people protecting
we
us.
have to help those guys when they come back. A lot of times they come back with issues. Because things they see at war, they see themselves killing people.
We can't handle it.
Oh my
Some of
God.
the things we honestly can't handle.
And when you think of it, is it their fault?
No.
So it's our duty to give them back, and that's all I'm asking this country. We are America, and there's a gap, there's a bridge, and I believe that as government, they won't be able to bridge that gap, but we can.
We can, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, this is the owner, executive director of the Veterans Empowerment Organization, and I know you guys can feel the passion, because I can. And Franz, I just thank you so much for opening your doors
Thank
to
you.
us, and we're gonna go outside and
Yes.
go see some of the fellas and
Yes.
talk to them and see what's going on. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.